How are you doing, everyone? How's it going?
Hi.
Okay. So I guess to begin with, basically I was a little bit late, unfortunately. So I missed the first one, the animation, but I saw the music video. If you want to quickly talk about the first one, and then I guess talk about how the actual second the music video actually came about as well.
Okay, well, shame you missed my film. Short and sweet, mine is. The film was made in stop motion using an armature puppet, and the puppet was actually knitted. And I actually did it as part of a Zoe film challenge, which is a 48-hour film challenge. And with this particular challenge, they give you a prop to include in your film, so it's kind of forcing you to be more spontaneous or. And obviously, it's really difficult to do animation in 48 hours anyway. Yeah. So I already made the set, and with the help of Jenny, who's also here tonight. And then I already had the armature, and my mum had already knitted the character. I just had to sort of put everything together, and put everything together, and waited to see what my prop was, and desperately hoped that it would somehow match with the pig or something. And it turned out to be a Trilby hat, and the guy who gave it to me, who ran the Zoe Film Challenge, was like, oh, you can make a tiny replica of it if you like. But I was like, oh no, I'll just use the real hat. So that was sort of the idea behind it, and just sort of tried to think of something I could do with the hat interacting with the pig character.
What challenges do you actually find with the 48-hour challenge? Because we've done something ourselves regarding that as well, and we found it very restraining in the sense of what you want to do, how you want to edit it. I guess it's all down to planning as well. But like, what's the main things that you kind of struggled with and felt difficult with the basically issues of like creating something within 2 days?
I had really bad technical problems during the shoot, so I did end up reshooting a bit of it to create a version I was more happy with. So I filmed over a weekend, and I had really bad technical problems with my camera and my computer. They just were not communicating. They did not like each other towards the end of Sunday, and there didn't seem to be anything I could do to fix that. That was really frustrating, but I just had to like go with what had happened, and technical problems happen all the time. With any project, but obviously it's more annoying when it happens on a 48-hour project. And luckily the nice thing about animation, working with animation, is hardly any editing involved, because you kind of edit as you go, you plan it, and you don't the only other kind of editing you need is maybe sound and music, sound effects, but I just went for music with this one rather than sound effects. So so in some ways, although it's really difficult to do animation in 48 hours, it could have been yeah, it could have been better, but it could have been worse as well. There's not much
well, what's the kind of the main thing that you took away from it as well? And how did you do in the competition, at the second thing as well?
Well, I did win a prize, but it wasn't really sort of. It was just a bottle of wine. It wasn't like a really big film competition. So I won a bottle of wine for my animation. And what was the first part of the question?
What did you take away from it?
Oh yeah.
Like, what's the lesson that you learned in the sense of like, I now know not to do this, and kind of the positive things that came out of it as well?
Well, I really wanted to do a project using a knitted character. I really wanted to take advantage of that, because basically my mum knitted the character. She was getting back into knitting, and I was like, aha! Yeah. So I was like, can you knit me this character, Mum? And she was really good with it, and she didn't seem to mind. So I just really wanted to be able to take advantage of that opportunity that had presented itself, that my mum was knitting, and I wanted to make a knitted animation. And also I hadn't actually used the armature before, so I was really looking for a project to use the armature and see how that armature was going to work, because I bought the armature off a friend for 10 quid, and he was a friend who works in animation and everything. So I was like, he's only selling me for a tenner, so it's obviously not that great, but obviously at the same time it's better than working with wire armatures or whatever, and it's budget friendly. So I really wanted to try out this armature, so I know like what I could do with it for future projects as well. So there was like, it was worth doing the project under the time pressures, because I still got a lot out of it, and you know, I got this little short film, and I've managed to test the armature to see whether it would work.
Yeah, that's really good. Aatif, tell us about the music video. How did you get involved, and I guess the story behind that?
There's 3 members in the band, Riff Statistics. Tom, James, and Stephen. When I was at uni, Tom, I've known him since high school, and he asked me if I can edit one of his videos, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it. I'm still learning. I'm still at university. I was only in second year, so I did it for him, and he was really impressed. And so what he did was he introduced me to his friends who are in the band now. And so he about a couple of months after, well, a year after actually, by the time I graduated, he asked me. He came back and he said, I want you to do a music video. And I told him, I've never done a music video before, so this was my first one. So I was really crapping it at the time, especially because Darren Gordon was there.
Yeah.
And
how did Darren get involved with this one?
He's friends with the band members.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from a long time ago. So when I was there, I was like, oh no, this is real pressure now. So the shoot was really smooth. We did it in one day. The edit was brutal though, because the band members wanted to do it all together as a collaborative, so that everyone's had their input in it. And the producer, James, he's mad. He goes, right, got this weekend. I was thinking we all get Red Bull and yeah.
Come on.
Goes, yeah,
you live on it.
I do. So he goes, yeah, we're all going to get like caffeined up and we're just going to do this in one weekend. We didn't sleep that weekend, by the way. That was done in like 3 nights. 3 days and 3 nights.
That's why it's so twitchy to answer the question.
So that's it really. And now we're making their second music video now. So their shoots are really cool and they're kind of smooth. So I enjoy them. Yeah.
So did you actually DOP this and edit it as well?
Yes, I did. I used Final Cut as my main editing tool. And a lot of the shots were After Effects with like some effects in there as well. The lens flares and such. So I used a lot of them. I didn't want to, because it's such a typical kind of girl guy scenario. I wanted it to have something extra, a bit of a kick to it instead of just filming this narrative. But yeah, we all had an input in that, so it wasn't just me. I had a lot of support.
Good.
So yeah.
I think I've got to ask as well, because you asked it for everyone else. What camera did you use for this?
I used my own Canon 550 Magic Lantern. But yeah, I use my own equipment really. I really need to upgrade, don't I?
I guess is there any questions from the floor?
I've got one question to you, 2 questions to you. Quick one. The car is in sync colour-wise with the pig. Did you film that before the Trilby? And this is Trilby made with horse meat and not horse skin and not cow skin. I was joking about that. But was the car colour coordinated with the pig? It
wasn't intentional. Because I also stole a lot of the props to dress in the background from my baby niece, and she happened to have a pink car. And I was like, actually, this could work quite nice. I was trying to choose the background to be a good contrast to the pink as well. So the wallpaper, was yellow and grey. And then obviously I got the Trilby. I hadn't even decided about the car beforehand as well. Once I got the Trilby hat, I was like, oh, there could be a car underneath it. And it was quite a lucky coincidence, I think, that the car was pink to match Squeaky Pig. I think I would have picked any car that was in amongst with my baby niece's stuff. But yeah, I think I was quite happy that it happened to be pink as well. And it would contrast to the hat, yeah.
Okay, 2 quick ones for Ata. I know you don't like speaking. 1, was it about pregnancy? Was it about someone's cheating on someone? We don't actually know the actual conclusion to what it's about. Or do we have to buy the EP?
I just pressed a button.
Okay, second one. The initial first half of the short film, or the music video, was he's got a lot of anger in himself.
Yeah.
But I've seen quite a lot of still shots with the still water, the still coke, which good product placement there as well. And everything was still. So was that intentional, or did you just do it by accident? You just shoot again?
No. What it was is because the guy was. That's Nav Chowdhury, if anyone doesn't know. He's on Waterloo Road and all that.
And the swing was still as well.
Yeah. What it was is they didn't want the band themselves. They don't want to be, because there's rap in it. Rap is associated with a lot of hip hop. Yeah, you know it all. And what they said was they don't want to be that kind of band because there's some kind of indie they're an indie hip hop, so like a fusion between the two. And so they said they want visuals to be a balance between the two. So the guy, Nath Chowdhury, he already portrays, you know, high energy kind of.
Yeah, of course.
So you know, we didn't have to make the visuals look any enhance it.
Lowerable.
So there was a lot of nice, I'd say, eye-pleasing shots. So the stillness was a part of it.
Yeah, and that was kind of contradictory to what he felt inside, which was
so
really anger. So I thought, was that intentional, or was that just?
No, that was intentional.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We didn't want to like have it crazy, and you know.
That was nice. It was a nice contrast. It was nice. Very.
It's like we wanted to make it go through a journey.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, with that kind of journey, we wanted it to be coherent and clear and still. So.
What's this be shot now?
No.
Okay, any more questions from the floor?
Yeah, just a quick one on that short animation film. Have you got any? Are you going to take that forward and put a bit of storyline in and make it a longer thing, or is it just as it is?
It's just as it is, really. I think, of course, I'm going to make more short films, but I think I'll just move on to just try something different, try and experiment with something else rather than necessarily carry on with the same character. I mean, I'm sure I could think of loads of other stories for him, but I think I want to try other kinds of styles of filming. I really want to try some sort of folding origami paper type style things. I really want to, you know, just have ideas of how I want to film things and want to try and move on to the next project, you know what I mean?
That'd be really nice. That's cool.
Couldn't you do like Action Pig? You know, go for the high speed getaway.
A knitted Peppa Pig.
Oh, awesome.
A knitted Peppa Pig. 3D in cinema.
I'm sure there's loads of stories I could come up with him, but because as well, my original idea wasn't to do the Trilby hat, it was to do a train set and things like that. But
you do like a visual storybook for kids with it.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Press here.
Very likeable character.
How long did
maybe
that
that's partly down
sequence
to my
take?
mum and her knitting.
You know, but she's a pro. She's got skills.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how long did that sequence take to shoot?
Actually, when I started the 48-hour film challenge, sort of the minute you get your prop, the challenge starts. I still hadn't finished putting the pig together, so I was like really cutting into my shooting time, still gluing him together. And then when you said what other technical problems did you have, his head actually broke partway through the filming. And I didn't really have enough time to go and glue it and wait for the glue to dry and film it, so I just had to make do with his neck being a bit like this, and then I reshot it later. But that was still great, because going back to what I'd learned from it, I was like, right, now I know how I'm not going to make the head again, and you know, sometimes you've got to have things go a little bit wrong so you can learn from them, really. So I was like, alright, okay, his head's not going to work like that, so I'll redo that. So I think I actually started filming it about 7 o'clock at night on the Saturday, because I'd spent that long still finishing off the pig, and then I started editing it at 5 o'clock on the Sunday, and the screening was at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Did you put an apple in his mouth after you finished?
No, that's
Emulsion
brilliant.
it.
Yeah, going back onto, I guess it's like, I generally think they're all good and viable experiences. I'm a big believer in like making mistakes, because if you make mistakes, and the parcel is to discover it. As soon as you make a mistake, you realise, okay, that's how you don't do it. So they're always good things to do. So if you make enough mistakes, you'll eventually get to a point where you know how to make animations. So definitely keep on going and just keep on exploring, because if you keep on exploring, you'll find exactly how you want to do it and which way you want to do it as well.
Start.
Finish.
Yeah, good. Okay. Well, thank you very much.